We're usually cruising around New Zealand in our Hymer campervan, but we're going via New York to the UK.
Where are we going, Russell? We're sort of in the middle of Warwickshire.
We have hired a campervan for 3.5 months to explore the UK. We're not sure where we're going, but this episode we're heading over to the Isle of Wight. We're just cruising and we welcome you along for the ride. Welcome. Last episode we left you at St Austell. We've been visiting Charlestown, which is a small port, and we're on the road again.
Good morning from Topsham, somewhere in Devon. Don't really know where we are. We're a bit lost, but we're in a car park. We're about to go and have a coffee at a local cafe. We stayed here last night and it was very peaceful. There's a train going by, but it didn't really bother us.
Over the centuries, Topsham evolved into a thriving maritime hub, trading goods with Europe and the Americas. Its maritime heritage is still evident today in its architecture and waterfront views. Nice wee place first thing in the morning. We're just trying to find the wharf. Topsham's made up of about 10,000 people. Picturesque setting and a range of independent shops make it a lively community and one of the most desirable places to live in the southwest of England. Well, we found the wharf, but the coffee shops weren't open at this stage, but we had passed one in town, so that's where we ended up before we walked back to the van. I just noticed that along the foreshore here they've got these safety barriers for when the sea comes up. So these houses here have also got them, see they've got like a slot with rubber. The water is not far away. Anyway, it's back to the camper. So that was Topsham, and we're just back on the motorway again, or heading closer to getting on the motorway. Really like there, you don't really do these places justice staying a night like what we did, but we've booked the Isle of Wight, which is our next stop, so we've got to go up the road here 100 miles a day, and we've got 3 nights on the Isle of Wight. Our ferry crossing is booked for early tomorrow morning, so we're coming through the New Forest. There's wild horses and things on the side of the road, and we spotted a campsite. Sort of. There you go.
Are we off enough?
Da 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 da, high five.
Here we are, parked up in the New Forest National Park. We're at Sethorns. It's a bit like a dock camp. There's no facilities, just water and rubbish. But it's lovely all on the trees and the sun's out, and we're actually just sitting back, waiting for tomorrow. We're catching the ferry and we're going across to the Isle of Wight. So here we are just leaving the New Forest. We're about to head down to the ferry. It's a beautiful spot in here, lots and lots of sites, with power or without, and we chose without, and it was a bargain, £15, actually £14 a night.
And it took a short time down to Leamington, where the ferry leaves from. Now it's time to queue up and wait for our turn to board the boat. We're on our way. The boat got away 2 minutes late because the toilet was blocked. And the men's toilets
don't work. A lot of information they give you. Do we need to know all that?
But he said not to worry, he's going to make up time and we'll arrive at the same scheduled time. Actually, it's very, very calm, beautiful boating area. You had a yacht here. Lots of yachts going out for the day to go sailing because it's so sunny. Bit of a nip in the air, certainly still spring.
So I've just had a wee geography lesson from the lady. This body of water out here is called the Solent, S-O-L-E-N-T, and on the other side of the Isle of Wight is the English Channel. She said it's a mecca for sailing. There's a castle out here that Henry V captured people on, but that's joined to the mainland on the other way. Here we go, here's all the yachts out here now.
Ferry's quite good. You drive on one side and you drive off the other, so no need to turn around.
Shanklin town centre.
Which way are we going, Amanda?
So now we're just following the past of the few houses, but quite populated actually. Yeah, look at that.
Check out where the camping ground is. After following our nose, once we got off the boat, we decided on a more practical approach and we stopped, got our GPS out and put in the location of the camping ground we'll be staying at tonight, and it was the opposite direction. So we turned around and came back to the boat. Yeah, so we've parked up at Pay and Display. We'll go along here.
So we've come to the town of Yarmouth, which is an old medieval town set in a valley which has been inhabited since prehistoric times. It was originally called Emu, as recorded in the Doomsday Book. It looks like a cool place to hunt out in a yachty's paradise.
Our little dinghies out there in the estuary sailing around. Nice big sheltered waters here. Great spot. I see they could probably only do this on the high tide, I'm guessing.
This is St James Church on the Isle of Wight, built in 1614.
It's only about 15 minutes drive from Yarmouth up to the Stokes Farm caravan and camping spot. We're booked here for 3 nights, knowing that it could get very busy on the Isle of Wight. After arriving, we decided to take a walk up a track across the road. Amanda's done well walking up all that hill. Anyway, there's a park here we could have driven up. Here's the map. You are here, and this is the Tennyson Down monument, which Amanda's just started walking along to now. What it's like, at least it's not straight uphill anymore. I'll catch up on Amanda.
Nice.
We found as we got up the hill further, there was great views across and over onto the water of the Solent. And off to the left is the castle that was built by Henry V that he held people on, that Amanda was talking about on the boat. And you can even see our camper way down there at the camping ground. Amanda's having a bit of a rest back there. We got up to the wee trig on the top of the hill. And I'm just walking down now to have a look at these cliffs, which will be the English Channel on this side. All this gorse here. Something New Zealand's got in common there. It was introduced to New Zealand, wasn't it, from England for the use of hedges, I believe. Not such a clever idea. now. I've just been to the local pub just there for a beer and met some locals. And the camping ground is right here.
20 steps away.
Amanda's done a 10,000 steps.
Yep.
Well done.
9,956. It's just about.
Just about.
Over.
So
Going to.
she'll get her last steps in and get to the 10,000 mark because we've got to walk up to the top of this hill over here. Yep.
We're just coming into the camp and they sell Rex's Range, sold here, which is the first Isle of Wight made lactose-free ice cream, especially for a dog's digestion.
Well, there's a pretty full day's travel from New Forest, catching the ferry across, having a wee look around Yarmouth, and then off for our walk. We'll catch you again tomorrow.
Just woken up to another lovely warm morning. Sun out, blue sky. Fairly lucky really when it comes to the weather department at the moment.
We are just on the way to Osbourne House. It's where Queen Victoria and Prince Albert used to holiday, one of their favourite places. There's parking. Disabled coaches is all around here, so take this. We finally made it to Osbourne House. It was a mission, but Russell prevailed yet again. And just to have a treat, he's bought at the petrol station a soft cornetto, and they got these wee caps on the top to save your chocolate.
Unfortunately, they did not allow you to video in the house, but I've got a bit of a picture show here for you as we walk through.
Osbourne House on the Isle of Wight is a former royal residence that offers a glimpse into the private life of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. Purchased in 1845, the couple transformed it into a secluded family retreat, drawing inspiration from the Italian Renaissance. Prince Albert collaborated with the architect Thomas Cubitt to design the house, resulting in a stately yet intimate home that became central to their family life. The estate features several notable structures, including the Swiss cottage built in 1854. Dismantled and transported from Switzerland, it served as a hands-on educational space for the royal children, where they learned gardening, cooking and basic economics. Queen Victoria passed away at Osborne House in 1901. Subsequently, King Edward VII presented the estate to the nation on his coronation day in 1902. The house has since served various purposes, including a junior officer training college for the Royal Navy and a convalescent home for officers. Today, it is managed by English Heritage. It is open to the public, allowing visitors to explore its opulent rooms, manicured gardens, and the private beach where Victoria once bathed. Osborne House remains a testament to Queen Victoria and Prince Albert's vision of a private, family-orientated retreat, offering insight into their personal lives and the Victorian era.
After a walk around the gardens, we decided to go and explore more of the Isle of Wight. We thought we'd check out a new beach.
Take my back wheels right onto the grass, okay? It's actually quite good. The park in here can be relevant spots.
We're just buying fuel today, and there was a local guy there. Well, I think he might have been visiting the island. I said, which is a good beach to go to? He said Compton, so here we are.
It's beautiful and calm today, which is probably pretty unusual. So there's a lot of people come down here just to go to the beach, including us.
Well, going to call it a day, head back to the camper and put our feet up. Tomorrow's another day. Third day
at Isle of Wight, and I've just dragged Amanda away from her comfort zone. She was comfy sitting here, didn't like the thoughts of going back out on these roads again. But
today we're heading to a natural attraction just along the road from where we're camped.
We've just come to the Needles, which is one of the tourist attractions to have a look at on the island, and it's £10 for parking.
nice big gap in there, which suits me.
Mine on this side.
There we are, big beachside fun, offers and deals. It's quite good for kids, doesn't it?
Yeah. Turned it into a sort of a tourist sort of park.
I could be a kid.
You might want to go down on the
20 pound.
Is that? Yeah. Okay.
Amanda and I find it interesting how they put these attractions and fun rides right next to a tourist attraction like the Needles. You could just imagine Cape Reinga getting there and having a big fun park. It just doesn't seem right. Anyway, that's what they do. They had this cable car ride down the cliff to the beach for £10, and then I guess you've got to pay more if you want to take the boat across to the Needles. We're just as happy to walk along. Beautiful sunny day, good exercise. It's the hop on, hop off bus going past us now, if you want to see around the island. There was plenty to look out on as we walked along the cliff. We hadn't really researched what was actually at the Needles. We guessed it was just a look outside. But as it turned out, there's a old battery where they watched for approaching ships, an enemy coming in to England. It's actually worked out to be quite an interesting trip around in the end, looking at some of the old equipment that was used. They had a coffee shop there and a special tunnel that went out to its searchlight.
You going to go wait in the coffee room, or do you want to come down?
No, I don't want to come down.
That wasn't so bad. Through the tunnel. And it's quite a long tunnel. Finally made it out to where the spotlight is. Good set of horns there for Benny. I could put them on the roof. That'd be pretty cool. Anyway, this is the Needles. We're behind a bit of a cage area here, so nobody jumps out, I guess. So we've come back into Yarmouth where our ferry's leaving. We've had 3 nights at the camping ground and it's time to leave.
There's all the boats up on the Solent.
There's a few boats out racing too, like that. Well, they put the chain across on this ferry. We weren't expecting to get on it because it is 11 o'clock and our ferry's not to 12, so here's our ferry arriving.
We came over on the White Sun.
Yeah, I think it's the same one we came over on.
If you look closely on the left hand side as we go in, you'll see a ramp of cars that's slightly lifted up. There's actually 2 floors of cars on the ship, and there's a great big elevator that lifts them up so that other cars where we're going now can go in. So looking above us now, there's a whole level of cars.
Right beside the motorbikes, is it?
Yep, very first up.
Even when this level above us is dropped, you've still got to go up the ramp to get into it, and I believe it's not as high, so they don't put campers and things up there. This guy on the right's concerned about being clipped by the motorhome. Motorhomes have got a bit of a name for drivers that don't know what they're doing, so I understand his concerns. Amanda's getting the knack of these ferries, up the steps and get a good seat so you can enjoy the view.
amazing view out the window. Russell will show you.
Keep an eye on the camper while I'm sitting here. We're first on and hopefully first off.
There's two wee kids out here sailing like we're going to safety boat with them.
We've now seen the Isle of Wight and a couple of bits and pieces on there as well, so hope you enjoyed that part. Anyway, we're heading towards Wales, but we won't get all the way to Wales tonight. We'll wait and see where we're going to stay tonight. Got a couple of options up there, car parks and pubs and things like that.
Yeah, what is this sign here?
Turning left.
Turn left, B3054, Bridge
Yeah.
Road.
Very nice spot.
St Michael's. It's in all Andrews Infant School.
St Michael's.
I discovered later that this was Lyndhurst.
Amazingly place. And by that campervan.
After 80 yards, turn left, A337, Rumsey Road.
We love these little villages. 3.5 months in the camper van, but you can't stop everywhere.
Turn left,
And Wales awaits.
A337, Rumsey Road.
Beautiful there, isn't it? Welcome to Frome. And we're just going to find our car park.
This is our home for the night. We're just going to go and have a bit of an investigate.
This is their wee square by the looks of it. It's pretty quiet here on a Sunday.
Frome is a historic market town in Somerset, England, with roots going back to the 17th century. It was founded around 685 AD by St Eldom, who established a monastery. During the medieval period, Frome grew as a centre for wool and cloth production, and by the 17th and 18th century it became one of the most prosperous towns in Somerset. Its wealth attracted nonconformist groups, making it a hub for religious diversity and independent thinking.
But we're going to leave you here in Frome and join us next episode in a fortnight's time as we carry on our journey and make our way up through Wales. Thanks very much for watching. It's been great to have you along.